What are you doing?
Taking away their leverage.
You can't kill a senator.
Why not? I didn't vote for him.
That's not the point.
How'd that enforcer get activated inside the building? And the door? Who opened it? I'm thinking it's the same bureaucratic shithead whose access code opens any door in the facility.
He's running out of time.
Even if you're right, what's your plan? We're surrounded.
So are you gonna knock me out now?
Hey guys, what is up? Bringing you my Fuze review. It's a bit late, I know, but better late than never. I got dragged behind by the two retro reviews. But anyway, here we are, Fuze. Now, this game's a mixed bag if there ever was one, and there's been plenty of them, so I have no idea why I did that quote. But anyway, moving on, Fuze. I was genuinely looking forward to the game because originally meant to be Overstrike, the project was scrapped, then brought back to life as Fuze. And it looked really interesting, and it looked like it was going to have a good story and be good in single player and co-op. Did that work all the way? Yes and no. Now, the one thing I'm going to make sure to state in this review is if you're thinking about playing this game, make sure co-op is essential. Like, you need to make that a priority if you're considering on buying this game, because if you can't play co-op, it's not worth it. I'm going to be completely honest to you. Because here's how fun it is when you're playing it by yourself. This is kind of fun, I guess. I'm not kidding. That's about how much fun it is. Damn, that shit's boring when you're playing it by yourself. But anyway, moving on. Co-op, the game is a blast. You're going to be having a great time. It's got a really good sense of humor.
Turn around. Slowly. Oh, shit. Kimball? Go disarm him. I'll cover you.
Fuck you. Why don't you disarm him and I cover you?
Now, where the game starts dabbling me is the story. It starts out on a fairly good note, then you just stop caring, then you never bring yourself to care anymore of the time, because it looks like it could get really interesting with the physics between Dalton and his former mentor and the woman that he loved, Mei Ling. And Naya and Luther, their relationship being father and daughter, but being on the separate sides of the conflict. It looked like it could get really interesting, but it doesn't. And all the cutscenes have a really rushed feel to them, and if it's not an important cutscene, the physics of it are downright bad. Example time.
Whatever Luther has must be a threat to their operation. Find him.
Yeah, that's totally some great physics there, where you can get like shot in the head and pelted full of bullets, and you're just standing there and shooting, and they drop in more so. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. One thing I cannot complain about with this game is its boss fights. Its boss fights are excellent. They make you work as a team, and they pull it out of you because the conflicts go on for a while. And it's tough, like boss fights should be. Boss fights are meant to challenge your skill in games, not be like hit a quick time event and then beat the game. I'm looking at you, Medal of Honor Warfighter. We all are. Anyway, now, another problem I had with this game is there's not real much incentive to go back and play it, though you can unlock a stack of like 7 to 8 costumes for each character. I didn't find it worth it, but it does add value to the game. I'm not going to lie and say that it doesn't, but it does add the value there because each person has about 7 costumes, and it costs a fair amount to get each one, so getting all the costumes for each character would require a lot of time. Now, the main reason that this doesn't really provoke me to is all the costumes for every character except for 3 you see them wear in the campaign or another character had. I really didn't care for that. I felt they could have been more original, but I guess funding was tight and they did what they did. Now, I'm not going to complain about how long the game is because it comes in at about 12 hours with it being 6 missions, and each mission takes roughly an hour and 30 minutes, so you're going to spend 12 to 13 hours with this game, no doubt about it. Now, they've also added additional horde mode onto the game, and I thought this was going to be a really cool and good addition despite horde being the most fucking tacked on game type in every fucking video game nowadays. Yeah, I said it. What are you gonna do about it? Anyway, I was a little upset with how mediocre the horde mode was in this day and age. If you're gonna add a horde mode, you gotta make it the best fucking horde mode ever. It's okay, you can dump like another 1 to 3 hours into the game playing this. The difficulties, they scale fine. It never feels too hard or too easy playing on normal. Easy, it's easy. What do you expect it to be? Hard, it actually does give you a good challenge, which I like. Now, the game breaks itself up really well because it breaks up the action with platforming sequences and other dialogue. And the game, like I said, great sense of humor, and it uses that in cutscenes and everything else, gameplay. It's got a good wit to it. I like that. Now, while they do curse and stuff on occasion, it's not really bad. Now, the AI for both your enemy and team has me baffled because 1 minute they're the most intelligent enemies ever and they're fighting you like an effective army should be. Then they're doing this. And then your teammates, half the time in a gunfight, they're awesome. They're getting you up. They're doing their job. Then when it comes to sneaking and doing anything else but combat, here's what they do. Are you fucking kidding me? That's fucking pathetic. Okay, whatever, Insomniac. I love you guys, but come on. The graphics, they look okay. I'm not gonna say that they're amazing or shitty. They aren't really either. It all adds up to overall good game. The mechanics are solid. It allows you to jump between all the characters at any time unless you're playing 4-player co-op online. And it allows you to play co-op offline too, which I think more games should do. Now, overall, the package is good, but not amazing, and doesn't fall into the ultra shitty category. And I hope you guys can understand that, and I do think it's worth picking up at some point. Now, overall, things get real muddled halfway through, and the one thing that really upset me was you'd have a really cool boss fight, like you'd fight this enforcer, and then you beat him and they recycle him for the next level. I really didn't like that. They recycle bosses as mini boss fights before you get to that level's boss fight, and all of them are fine minus like 1 to 2 cheap ones. And the physics, overall, it's good. I did like how each person has their own role in combat. Like, Izzy's the assault soldier with her shatter gun, runs up there, crystallizes 4 enemies, thins them out for you. Dalton, he's the tank of the team. He can stop bullets from hitting you guys. You can shoot from behind his shield. He can drop his shield. He can take a bit more damage than everyone else. He moves slower. He's the tank of the team. He fits in perfectly. Jacob, he's the sniper given the long-range weapon of the arc shot, which can shoot mercury arrows into your enemies. Yeah, mercury, bitches. Now, I thought that was really fucking cool how you can shoot them with mercury arrows, set up traps and everything so they can't get in close. Then Naya, she's the stealth soldier. She can turn invisible. She's real sneaky, real glidey and quick. She's meant to be used by the person who wants to play this game smart. Now, the one thing with all the stealth sequences in this game is they're all half-baked. You can't even get through areas sneakily because your teammate AI is bad, so if you don't have full roster, don't even think about doing it. Also, it's designed so you can only kill about, like, 1 to 4 enemies out of, like, a group of, like, 30 stealthily. I guess, like, yeah, we're gonna kill the rest of those 26 guys full on force, but we got 4 of them, guys. We got 4. Holy shit. And this mainly came from them not really designing too many stealth mechanics in the game. It doesn't hold it back too much, but it was a nuisance. I'm going to give you one more mechanic, then I'm going to go ahead and stop rambling on about the game and give you my verdict. Now, that one mechanic is each character has their own skill tree that gives them abilities that are centric to them, and each person can share these, and you can get team perks through items that you spend Fuze credits on. I found this really cool because you go from being like an inexperienced squad, even though you're all experienced soldiers, so why is their skill level down? But anyway, you go from being like basic soldiers to these mercenary badasses with all the abilities that you have and all the different things you can do in combat. It's just really cool, and each one has their own centric tree, meaning you can dump multiple times, and you can dump almost an endless amount of time into getting all the skill tree add-ons for all the characters. I really like that. It adds more incentive to play the game. Now, everything taking into consideration all the bullshit that happened in the game and everything else, what it does good, what it does bad, overall, I felt real undecided about this game up until about last week. In all actuality, because it's a bit hard to rate the game, because it does co-op great, does single player meh, then it does its other stuff real meh, but it does everything in a real good enough tone to where you can't really hate on it too much. It's a solid product, and my recommendation would be wait till a new copy of this is down to like $25 to $15 and buy a new copy, because it's a new franchise. This franchise does have possibility. They could fix the story and get it real interesting and everything else and give us a really good and memorable franchise. Right now, it's a great franchise as a start off, but nothing amazing, so I'm going to give Fuze the rating of a 7.5. Now, it does have replay value to it and everything else, but I felt so undecided to where I couldn't rate the game in the top tier section. It's not really worthy of that, but by no means do I think it deserves to be like Mind Jack levels of bad or Ride to Hell Retribution. No, it's not that bad, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you bitches in the next Rabs Gaming Review. Erzban21 out. Okay, that was a really lame outro. I'll see you bitches later. Fuck.